Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Cerebral Smack Talk Live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, and Dee Woodson. Guys, we got ourselves a big show here tonight as we're going to recap Smackdown Live from the Thunderdome in Orlando, Florida. And then, of course, tonight we're also going to have the preview for Hell in a Cell. And, well, let's do it. Let's dive right in, guys. So, we started it off with a promo segment. It was the KO show. And Kevin Owens' guest tonight was none other than Daniel Bryan. And they started talking, and they were talking about, maybe it would be great to join forces. There was one belt that neither man has ever that he's accomplished a lot of things, that Daniel Bryan accomplished a lot of things in his career, but it was one thing that I think Owens never did, that Bryan, that he said that he thanked Owens for having in mind and talking about doing something that that he never captured, that Daniel has. That was to become a WWE Tag Team Champion. Now, Owens have done it all. Universal Champion, Intercontinental. I believe he was a US Champion. There's only one belt that he's never held: the Tag Team titles. Could this be the start of a Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens partnership? Well, right after that, then we had a whole bunch of interruptions. Ziggler and Rude, they interrupted. Then the Street Profits also. And basically, Nakamura and Cesaro, why not? Let's throw them in the mix. So, right after that, we had an 8-man tag team fight. Owens, Bryan, and the Street Profits versus Cesaro, Nakamura, Rude, and Ziggler. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in roughly 15 minutes was the face team. Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and the Street Profits. Oh my God. Well, right out of the gate, and SmackDown comes out firing on all cylinders. Great segment of the night. Well, no, second best segment of the night. There was one that was even better than this. And two, what a way to start the show with a 3 3/4 to a near 4-star match. Great battle. Great 8-man tag. The right team won. I like the storyline because it looks like they're leading to Street Profits versus Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens. This could get very interesting. I like this storyline. And this is a nice way to ingratiate Daniel Bryan back into the mix. Owens is looking for something. Why not pair them up? Why not let them become a team and work together? I like it. So, I got nothing more to add. Anthony Florio, this was a great way to start the show tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. I mean, the idea of pairing Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens together is very interesting. They are both main event talents who need something to do while they wait for a spot to open up in the Universal title picture. This could be it. Bryan bringing up Owens' past betrayals was almost like WWE wanted to plant the seeds for a breakup right away. So this union could end up being short term. The opening segment was a cut and paste brawl and talk show, but the talents involved made it watchable. As far as the 8-man goes, this was the second best fight of the night for me. There was one other match on this show that was actually better than this, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about too. Yes.
Yeah. 3.5 to 3 3/4. I think that's the correct rating for this. I think 4 might be a little steep, but 3.5 to 3 3/4 I feel is the appropriate rating for this. But then again, Bullock feels the same way because Bullock and I had another one of our legendary SmackDown chats this evening, and as we were watching this match, I mean, we couldn't believe the athleticism and all the great moves and all the near falls that went down in this match, especially that closing stretch at the end. I mean, my goodness. There was a small cause for concern because, when Brian landed on that knee, we were thinking, oh, God, I hope it's not a legitimate injury. But it looks like he's okay. So I think everything's okay with the yes man. So we should be all right. So that's really all we can say on this. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Second best fight of the night. So nothing more to say. Phenom, Michael Bullock, come on in. And we agreed during our SmackDown chat tonight that this match was at least 3.5, maybe 3 3/4.
Yeah, I agree. This was definitely a 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star match. I mean, this was definitely a great way to kick it off, and the promo was definitely really good as well. I mean, yeah, it would be very interesting to see if they do go through with this Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens tagging and going for the belts. I mean, let's not forget the history, and especially with Kevin Owens' betrayal, especially leading up to WrestleMania 34, which led to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. So we'll see if that actually does work. So yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. The promo was good to start it off, and then yeah, 3.5 to 3 3/4, and yeah, there was definitely one match that was actually better than this. We'll definitely get into it. So, Dee Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating, and yeah, that was a very good segment to start off the show with. So I'm not going to add anything else. You guys pretty much touched it all. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right. So then we had a moment. I'm not gonna go into it too much detail, but they were doing the trial. Um, it was the trial for the Money in the Bank briefcase. The Miz and Morrison versus Otis, and it starts out with it looks like Otis was ahead. Made a valid point, made some good arguments, and it looked like he got ahead. So it looked like he was um, definitely on the right path to keeping the Money in the Bank. So we'll move on later on. Then we had Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega. Bianca Belair wins the match in 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So we're not gonna talk about this. We're gonna just let it be. Then we had Lars Sullivan versus. Okay, I'll call him Shorty G because something happened. Sullivan destroys him in 2 minutes and 1 second. After the match was over, Shorty G comes out and says, I quit. I'm done. But not what you think. All right, now hang on. He's quitting the Shorty G gimmick, thank God, and he's going to be known as Chad Gable again. Now, wait a minute. Think about this. Austin Theory quit on NXT this past Wednesday night. Chad Gable, quote unquote, quitted tonight, or Shorty G quitted tonight on SmackDown Live. Now, I've heard a rumor. This is a little far-fetched, but is it possible? Now we know that Theory and Gable might work together, so there's a stable possible coming. But there was a talk about maybe a resurrection or a new version of American Alpha with Chad Gable and Austin Theory. Now that would be pretty interesting. We all know what Jason Jordan and Chad Gable did, especially in NXT. They did pretty well on the main roster too. And it was a major mistake that they broke them up because a lot of people were pretty mad. Who knows? We'll see. So, after that, then we had Bayley and Sasha Banks. Another promo. Well, Anthony, it's all yours, my friend. I believe this is the segment of the night that you were talking about.
Well, I said match, not segment.
Well,
but I'm not going to go that far on this. It was short and effective. Delaying the contract signing until this week didn't make much sense, but Sasha and Bayley are so good together that they made this segment work. Bayley has become one of the best heels in all of WWE. She is really stepping up her game as a solo act, and Banks has fallen back into the babyface role with ease. This match on Sunday could easily steal the show, although based on the developments at the end of the show, I'm starting to think otherwise, but about another match that could do that. But regardless of who wins, this will not be over anytime soon. We'll get more into that in just a little bit. We'll elaborate more on a little bit, but short and effective segment, so there's nothing more to say. I mean, Michael Bullock, you ultimately got what you wanted out of this. You wanted Bayley to sign the contract. Well, we were wondering how it was going to happen. Well, the boss found a way to get it done. Contract signed. It's on. Let's go, Bullock. Bullock, are you there? You're up. All right. It looks like Bullock was in and out. So, Bullock, if you're ready, let's get your thoughts on the Sasha and Bayley segment. You wanted Bayley to sign the contract? Well, guess what, man? She did. Contract signed. All right. I guess there's something wrong with Bullock here. So, while we wait for Bullock to come in, let's go to Dee Woodson and get her thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'm glad she finally did sign the contract, and it took brutal force to get her to do it, and it happened. She got the contract signed.
Mike, are you with us? Mike? All right. Dee, it's yours.
Okie dokie. Well, it took brutal force to get her to sign, but she signed it, and we've got a match. We've got a title match. I mean, we've got what 3 title matches now, or 3 matches in a Hell in a Cell. So this is going to be quite a pay-per-view coming up. So this was definitely a really good segment. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a very good job. And I'm glad we finally got that little tidbit taken care of, so that we can move on now and get to the actual match that everybody's been waiting for. So not much more I'm going to add. I'll toss it back to you, Fletch, since we don't know what's going on with Bullock.
All right. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. This is weird. Unless Mike has some issue, you might have connection issues. That sucks. All right. So, with that said, we move right along. So we kept going with the storyline of the court thing. Lot of things went at it, and then we finally got the verdict. It looks like Otis was going to win the case, but The Miz presented some last second evidence. He bribed JBL out. That's all it was. The money talked, and the BS definitely was walking on this one. Unfortunately for Otis, the verdict went against him. Now he's forced to fight The Miz one-on-one Sunday night. The Money in the Bank contract is on the line. We will get into that later tonight as well, guys. So, for the first time on pay-per-view, the Money in the Bank contract is now up for grabs. The only other time the Money in the Bank contract was up for grabs, was on Smackdown, and we all remember what happened on that night. So,
There have been some other times, MF. There have been some other times where the briefcase was involved, and I will go into professor mode when we get to it.
oh yeah. All right, so we got Mike Bullock back. Are you with us, Bullock?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, cool. We were talking about the Sasha and Bailey segment, so just give me a quick thought on that.
Yeah, we knew that Bailey was going to sign the contract eventually, but she was being such a hard ass, and Sasha said, "You know what? I'm going to make you do it." And this was basically her saying, "If you don't sign it, I'm going to break your damn neck." And she applied so much pressure to the point that Bailey said, "You know what? Okay, I'm going to sign it." So it is official now. So we knew it was going to happen, but the boss made sure that saying, "Look, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to force the issue," and force the issue. She did. She did, and now the match is official. So I cannot wait to see these two Hellcats throw down on Sunday. So, all right, Fletch, it's yours.
All right, we're gonna go right into the big fight. Mike Bullock, you were gonna lead off anyway on this, and it was Seth Rollins one-on-one with Buddy Murphy. Rollins wins the match, 17 minutes, 10 seconds. Oh my God, what a match!
Whew, man, all I can say is this was definitely the fight of the night. I could go 4 to 4 and a quarter, maybe even 4.5. I'll just say anywhere between 4 and 4.5. I mean, this was definitely one hell of a match. I mean, these two definitely can deliver. I mean, Rollins can always deliver a really good match, but yet so can Murphy as well with the ability that these two have. And as a wrestling fan, I just simply enjoyed this. I enjoyed this match. I mean, imagine if this was on a pay per view and they got more time. We could be talking close to 5 with these two, based on the body of work. So, but then after the match, I mean, Rollins did win, but he was about to unleash a kendo stick attack on Murphy, but Aaliyah was going to go out there, but Dominic and Ray was saying, "No, no, let these two handle their own business." And then she's like, if you're not gonna help, then I am." And then she comes out, and who knew what Rollins was gonna do, but Dominic came out, and then after Seth Rollins ambushed him, Ray came out, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot get to figure out when it comes to this situation. I mean, it seems like she has a thing for Murphy, but Dominic and Ray don't approve of it. So this is something to definitely keep an eye on. So, Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
I can see where Ray and his wife are coming from. I mean, as a parent, you want to protect your child, and after everything that Seth and Murphy have put Dom through, they don't want that for Aaliyah. So they want to protect her. They want to put her in that little bubble that um, most parents put their kids in because they wanted to, just protect them. Well, at the same time, I can see her point of view being a female that, you want what you want, and she is 19. She is technically a legal adult, so she can make those decisions. So really, they can't really physically stop her. So it's a win-lose situation for the Mysterios because they really can't do anything other than just try to make sure she doesn't get hurt because they can't really stop her from going after Murphy. So it is what it is, but this was definitely, a great segment, great match. I can agree with the rating. These two did tear up the ring, and they really brought it to each other. I mean, you had Seth being really annoying with, I'm the Messiah, you're the disciple crap. But I think Murphy, even though he lost, I think he did prove to Seth that he's more than what Seth thinks he is. So yeah, this was great. I don't see this ending anytime soon. So who knows? This may be something else that may get thrown in as the last minute on Hell in a Cell, or it could be something that'll continue on the next SmackDown after Hell in a Cell. I don't know, but I don't see the Murphy and Seth Rollins part of this ending anytime soon. So yeah, it's yours, Fletch.
I feel like we're transitioning now. We're transitioning from the Mysterios and Seth to now it being focused on Seth versus Murphy, and the Mysterios are now secondary. They're now they're no longer dealing with Seth Rollins because now Murphy's in the fight. He's taken over it. And now we got the real battle beginning. The Messiah versus the you could say the disciple. And let me say it like this. If this is what they're gonna give us between the disciple and the Messiah, oh my god, SmackDown Live. This was a home run and then some. This was fight of the night. 4.5 stars. No arguments. I mean, I'll even say this. This was probably one of the best matches. And damn it to hell, it wasn't even on Fox. It was on FS1 tonight. Because Fox is showing the World Series right now. FS1, you just hit the home run. You just hit I don't know even what to say. Congratulations, guys. You got yourself fight of the night and maybe a fight of the year candidate. This might be SmackDown's fight of the year. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
As one of our favorites, one of our favorite sports writers would always say, Mr. J.A. Donde, easy there, Romeo. Aren't you forgetting about an Intercontinental Championship Finals match from June? Aren't you forgetting that for your SmackDown fight of the year?
I mean, yes, okay, but this was just as good.
Yes, it
and
was.
The other knock that we had on that one was that there was 4 commercials on this match. How many commercials was that in this one? Maybe 1, 2?
About 1 or 2. So, yeah,
I mean,
I'll give you that. Absolutely. It deserves to be in the running. Absolutely. But I still feel that AJ and Brian from the June 12th show, which was that Intercontinental final, I still feel that that's your SmackDown match of the year. But this one's up there. Absolutely. 4 to 4.25 stars is my rating for this. The storyline with Aaliyah and Murphy is strange given their age difference, but the match between Rollins and Murphy lived up to expectations. This showdown should have taken place at a pay-per-view, but getting it on SmackDown is fine as long as it's not their last encounter. They worked well together and will only get better as they face each other more. The Juggernaut's arm injury seemed like it would be an easy excuse to give Rollins the win, but Murphy ended up looking even more resilient by fighting through it. This is the kind of match Murphy used to have every week on 205 Live. Believe me, I know. I saw all of them. And it's great to see him get the chance to perform at this level again. So that's all I can say on that. And you notice he was back to his old wrestling gear, not that disciple gear. So that's really all there is to say on this. Fantastic match. This was the other match I was talking about for Fight of the Night right here. 4 to 4.25 stars. Absolutely. So maybe something gets added to Hell in a Cell. As of now, Hell in a Cell only has 5 matches on the cards, so and we're gonna get into those 5 matches. But if something else gets added, we'll just review it on Sunday night. So nothing more to say. 4 and a quarter, fight of the night, no doubt about it. MF, I mean, you should be happy. I know you got to be Cheshire Cat grinning right now because the draft gods, they smiled on you when they gave you not just Murphy, but Seth freaking Rollins as well.
I told you, the workhorse of Monday Night Raw came over to SmackDown, and we got jolted with lightning and thunder. And look, as much as we may not like the storyline, but because of who we got in the mix, it made the show even better tonight. And that's why I was so excited. Then it goes even more explosive with the main event segment with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. And they blew it out of the box again. Okay, I don't care what we may say, what we may think, whatever may happen in that Hell in a Cell match on Sunday. The build to this match has been absolutely incredible. And I gotta give it up. Roman Reigns as a heel is the greatest thing that has ever happened in his career. I cannot wait for the day that we finally get fans in the arena to boo this son of a bitch and light him up, because he deserves to get the boo birds and get crucified by the WWE Universe, and I can't wait for that to happen. And as far as Jey Uso, this guy is an underdog. He knows he's an underdog, but he's giving us a fighting spirit, that warrior spirit of the Samoan. I'm riveted. I am thrilled. I am jacked up for this fight on Sunday night. They did a great job. This is a shut up and take my money moment. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
This was the segment of the night, MF. There is no doubt about it. I mean, you notice that the Usos took a page out of the Bellas book, the Twin Magic. I mean, the Twin Magic was originated by the Bellas. We all know that. And WWE rarely uses the Twin Magic trick for the Usos, but it worked in this segment perfectly. The added stipulation certainly upped the stakes for their match tenfold. Not quite a bit, tenfold. Let's get that. Let's understand that for a moment. Listen to that word, tenfold. The threat of being cut off from the most prestigious family. Well, in my personal opinion, the Hart family is the most prestigious family in professional wrestling. But the Anawahi family, just as prestigious. Being cut off from that prestigious family is huge. The threat of that is huge, guys. Both Jimmy and Jey Uso and Roman Reigns made this another great chapter in this ongoing story. This was a great way to send us into this weekend's event. And this match is going to be epic. The greatest Hell in a Cell match that we ever saw. I don't know how Dee Dee feels about this, because we talked about this before she joined our panel. But in the early days of the Wrestling Forum, back when Derek Ferrera was running things and Michael Bullock was just starting with us, we all agreed that the best Hell in a Cell match we ever saw up to this point was the end of an era Hell in a Cell match with the Undertaker and Triple H at WrestleMania 28 with Shawn Michaels as the referee. That's the best one for now. This one with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, based on everything that we've seen, not just tonight, but what we've seen over the last month or so, the potential is there, folks. The potential is there for Roman and Jey to have perhaps the greatest Hell in a Cell match and the most emotionally charged Hell in a Cell match probably since the end of an era with Taker and Hunter at 28. Could give it a run for its money. It really could. And you think of all the great moments in Hell in a Cell match history. Taker and Shawn in the very first one. To Taker, throwing Mankind, Mick Foley off the Hell in a Cell. At Foley's request, Foley said, hey, throw me off. Taker said, no, I'm not going to do it. Foley begged him to do it. And look what happened. That moment alone made Mick look what Mick Foley became. Need I say more on that? You know what became of him. His mega push began. He won the title. Off to the moon he went. And then every other Hell in a Cell moment that we've seen. Man, what's Roman and Jay going to do? My God. The dirt sheets were saying, sorry, MF, one moment. The dirt sheets were saying that Sasha and Bayley was supposed to be the main event. In the immortal words of Luigi PS3, nah, honey. If any Hell in a Cell match deserves to main event this pay-per-view, this is the match that deserves to be the main event. No other match is going to follow it.
I second that, Florio.
I
you were going to say?
Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but I was gonna say God have mercy on the souls of both men. But the thing is, oh my God, can the Thunderdome even hold it? That's the one thing I'm afraid of. Could we have another Braun Strowman, Keith Lee type of incident with the Thunderdome? That's what I'm afraid of.
With the ring exploding?
Not the ring imploding, but with that sadistic cell, could somebody go through the monitors? Could somebody get thrown through a table? I mean...
Could someone go through the cell itself?
Yeah! I mean, I'm scared because there's really no room for error anywhere in the Thunderdome.
Nope.
These two may never be the same after this match.
Oh no! Randy Orton said it himself. The Hell in a Cell takes a piece away from you.
Look what it did to Foley.
Yeah. Look what it did to Taker. Look what it did to Rikishi. Look at what it did to Austin. Look what it did to The Rock. Angle.
Hunter.
All these guys who's gone into Hell in a Cell has never came out the same since.
And none of us, and if any of us ever did, and if any of the three of us, myself or MF or Bullock, if any of us, God forbid, went into that thing, we wouldn't even be the same.
No.
Nobody is.
Shane McMahon has never been the same since jumping off that cell.
Twice.
So,
not just Taker, but Kevin Owens. I mean, everything that we've seen in Hell in a Cell match history is going to pale in comparison to what Roman Reigns and Jey Uso are going to do on Sunday night. I'll elaborate a little more when we get to it, but for right now, we don't want to waste too much time here. So nothing more to say. This was the segment of the night. I mean, Michael Bullock, as has become a tradition in our Smackdown chats. So that happened.
Yeah, that really happened. I mean, segment of the night. There's really nothing more to say. I mean, if you thought this rivalry between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso couldn't get any better, tonight they took it up another notch. With the threat of Jimmy and Jey Uso and the rest of the family being cut off, ooh, the stakes couldn't get any higher. I mean, this isn't just about the Universal Championship. It's about family. It's about the bloodline. This is about as personal as it gets. Roman Reigns as a heel was the best thing WWE has done. Remember, guys, the IWC was clamoring for Roman Reigns to be a heel. They wanted it, they got it, and boy, howdy, he's taking it and running with it it's just awesome what we're seeing out of it. It's the best thing for Roman. I mean, yes, he's had some moments as a babyface, but him as a heel is far and away better. I mean, can we all agree on that? It's far and away better
Far and away
than his
better.
baby.
Yes, Bullock. It's far and away better. And let me just say it like this: the traditional fans, they would boo the you know what out of him. They would crucify him. But
And like what and
you
like
know deep
Fletch and like
down,
said,
deep down, the IWC would love him. The IWC would go nuts for him. They
Oh,
pump him for him.
they're relishing the
oh, they're loving
fact
it.
they wanted Roman Reigns to be a heel for so long, and now they got what they wanted. They got Roman Reigns as a heel. And the other thing that really kind of helped Roman is because of the fact that he got Paul Heyman to work
That did
on
it.
his behalf. That was one of the key factors. But Roman Reigns reminds me of the Roman Reigns from NXT, the don't waste my time Roman.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Roman that I was waiting for.
The Roman
This-
Reigns, I don't give a damn of
Yeah,
what other people think of me.
yeah.
Just imagine if they had done, just imagine if they had the balls to do this with Cena. Just imagine what that could have been like.
It could have worked well, but yeah, and you like you said, Fletch, the day when they bring fans back, and you know that they're gonna boo the hell out of this guy.
Well, I don't
You
know
know that-
now. I don't know now, especially the Euros. The Euros and that Bizarro type fans, I don't know. I think they might praise them for this.
And a lot of yes
Well,
chants would go out.
well,
too.
here in
Oh, yeah.
here in the U.S. Well, here in the U.S. they may boo him, but all around the world they may be cheering this guy. But anywho, I agree. I mean, WWE. I mean, I did hear the rumors of Bailey and Sasha being the main event, and I mean, if they didn't do what they're doing with this storyline with Roman and Jay, I would have said, yeah, make Sasha and Bailey the main event. But after what we've seen here, I'm sorry, WWE, you need to make this the main event with the storyline,
Is
with everything that
is
we've
anything
seen
going to
with
follow
the-
this? Anything going to follow this? Absolutely not.
Well, they better do it. If you, I mean, to me, they need to make this the main event. I'm sorry. I mean, it's nothing against Sasha and Bailey, but with the way they've executed the storyline, they need to make this the main event. Period. End of quotation. End of statement. Did Dee Dee Woodson go on it? Fetch, did Dee Dee go yet?
I don't know if Dee Dee has. Dee Dee, did you get your say on this?
I don't think so.
Well, if you didn't, then it's yours. Talk about it. I mean, what do you think? Do you think this should be the main event?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the big title. Yeah, the women's title is the women's big title, but this is the big title. This is the main title of SmackDown. It deserves to be placed over the women's title in this instance because this is your top dog. This is your money maker. That's one thing I can agree with Heyman and Reigns on. This is the money maker here. This is where it all lies. This is basically Vince McMahon's meal ticket is this going to be this match
And
because you've got these big.
and another thing, Dee Dee, I think it should. And I mean, better than the. I think this is going to be the best of the 3 Hell in a Cell matches, even better than the WWE Championship Hell in a Cell. Sorry to say that, Florio.
Probably it probably will be, but yeah, this is your big money maker. This is the one that we always say you don't want to take it to that personal level, and this has got to that personal level. No, it's not attacking physically, like it did with AJ and Samoa Joe, where it actually went physically after the family and stuff. But you're still got the family involved in this, and this is major because you're saying that this is your top dog, this is your chief, this is the guy who's going to put everything on the table for everyone. And then you have one of the cousins that's like, no, this, I want this. So it's understandable. He's being the baby in the family. He wants to come out. He wants to make a name for himself. And, Jay has that right. But, at the same time, that you're fighting for that top dog role that Rock has had for who knows how long. And, in a way, I would say Dwayne Johnson still kind of does have it. But in the wrestling world, Roman has taken that torch and has run with it. And yeah, he's doing awesome as the heel. And you can definitely see, that Heyman influence is there. But instead of letting Heyman be his mouthpiece, he's being his own mouthpiece. He will shut Heyman up and do his own talking, where Lesnar wouldn't do that, and some of the other guys wouldn't do that. They would let Heyman do all the talking, and Roman does more of his own talking than any of them did. So I think the only other one who did most of his own talking was Punk. So yeah, I mean this is really great. They're going very well with this, and this is the one where you would say, "Shut up, take my money. I want to, I want this match." Out of everything on the card, yeah, this is the one that I think more people are looking forward to, even more than Sasha and Bayley, because this is hit that level to where it's piqued everyone's interest because of the such personal nature that's in there, and the fact that it's such a family dynamic match. So the stakes are high, and it's not just the title on the line, it's it's the family lineage on the line. So we'll have to see what happens with that. So I've got nothing else to go for, so it's yours, Fletch.
Overall review time, and after everything that went down, Anthony Florio, you get to lead off on the overall review for SmackDown Live tonight.
Oh my. I shall do my best, in the immortal words of Ben Stein, but that's what I will do. So yeah. Only 2 cutout matches. We had everything else was great. I mean, I'll tell you what. Even the nonsense that was the Law and Otis. I was actually, I mean, that was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, I really didn't. I mean, look at all the names you brought in for that. You had JBL as the judge, which I thought was freaking awesome. Ron Simmons was the bailiff. Teddy Long was the stenographer. I mean, I could not believe that. I mean, that was amazing. Great to see T-Lo, especially on SmackDown, where he was the greatest general manager that show ever had. But yeah, I mean, that even came out good. We actually got a payoff out of that with that Miz and Otis match, which we're going to get into shortly. And yeah, I mean, Rollins and Murphy blew it out of the box. That was a fantastic match. The opening 8-man was very good as well. 2 quality matches. The segments were all set up very nicely. That closing segment was just unbelievable. And I really don't know what else there is to say on this, except I think I can give this very easily. I could give this a solid 8 out of 10. No question about that. And MF, be encouraged. I mean, when the SmackDown on Fox era started, it got off to a very rocky start. We had a lot of average, mediocre shows all the time. But you keep putting forth shows like this tonight and going forward, the SmackDown on Fox investment may end up working out after all. So that's all there is to say on that. So there you go. So great show tonight. The way they ended it was unbelievable, and it just set the table for what could end up being the greatest and most emotionally charged Hell in a Cell match in history. So there's really nothing more to say on this. Solid 8 out of 10. So Michael Bullock, what a great SmackDown tonight. And I'm glad we had our chat tonight because it's nights like this when we have our SmackDown chat that makes it fun.
But this definitely made it one hell of a fun chat we had tonight. 8 out of 10 for me. I mean, yes, you had a couple of dud matches, but everything else was good to great when it comes to the matches and the promos. But the one thing that really stood out to me tonight was that final segment with Roman Reigns and the Usos. That literally hit it out of the park. It made their I Quit Hell in a Cell match more interesting than it already is. I'm looking forward to it. You know what, guys? Sunday night can't get here fast enough. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing this and to seeing what happens. So, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
And you just blew by Dee Dee Woodson like she wasn't even
I'm
there.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Dee
I'm
Dee,
sorry.
it's yours.
I'm sorry. I'm just
He's
so
excited. He's excited.
Okay.
I'm just excited about this.
Okay. I'll
Don't
give
stick
you
Callie on me.
I'll give you a bye this time. No, I wouldn't be Callie. I'd stick on you. I've got two cats in the back room fighting right now. I'd probably put you in the middle of that.
Oh boy.
I've got
Well,
two
let's
male.
say if
I've
you
got
did that, my face would look different the next day.
I've got two male cats that are only a year apart from each other, and they hate each other. Even though they're fixed, they still hate each other. And then they get the other male cats all riled up. So we end up having four male cats that'll go at each other. So yeah, it's that's just one of those things that makes it interesting around here is watching the cat fights or the cat wrestling that we get sometimes. But yeah, as for this, yeah, I agree. This was definitely a solid 8 out of 10. This was definitely one of the better SmackDown shows than what we've had in a while. And yeah, it's getting a lot better now that we've had the draft. We were wondering how this was going to all play out and shake up from the draft, and they did a great job. And yeah, everything was just about everything was storyline based. So, and that's what SmackDown's always been notorious for. Is
Where's Kelly? I don't know. She's in the window. Okay.
It's one thing SmackDown's always been notorious for is SmackDown. There's the storyline building, and that's basically what we had tonight. We had an awesome storyline building night, and the only one that wasn't really storyline building was, of course, Lars. But of course, they're still trying to build the character that they're wanting to build with him anyway. So, and everybody who's involved in the trial thing, you had Oscar even in there, you had Rey Mysterio in there. Yeah, it was awesome to see all that, and having APA being the judge and the bailiff, that was awesome, and yeah, I think everybody knew what was in that case. Fletch nailed it right there on the head. He bought him off, and so now we have 5 matches now for pay-per-view. So that's at least we have some stuff that more than what we had. I looked at it this morning, saw 4 matches. I'm like, okay, what is this? This is going to be like a 2-hour show, because pay-per-views aren't usually real short, and this seemed like it was going to be really short the way they had it set up. So I'm glad we actually had another match built up tonight, and I look forward to seeing what's going to come out of all this. So we'll have to wait and see what happens as we move along. So let's get right on with the pay-per-view review. Fletch.
And we will indeed start it off like we've been alluding to, there is 5 matches on the fight card now. We're gonna get through one very quickly, guys, just to get it out of the way. Jeff Hardy versus Elias 1-on-1. Um, I'm just gonna say it. We don't need to take too much time on this one. There's 2 matches that we don't need to take too much time on. First one, Jeff Hardy versus Elias. I got Jeff Hardy winning, so Anthony, I'll give it to you.
I actually disagree, MF. I'm actually going to go with Elias to win this match. It's hard for me to imagine WWE bringing Elias back from injury just to have him drop the first match in his return. Hardy suffers little from a loss, given he's established as a legend and can have his push ramped up or down with little pushback from the audience. I don't imagine it's going to be a clean win, but Elias should manage to get the win in this one. So I'm going with Elias to win. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
I'm actually going to go with Elias as well. There's really nothing more to say. Florida pretty much touched on it. So, Dee Woodson, quick thoughts?
I'm going to side with Fletch, and I'm going to say Hardy, but I would not be surprised if Elias did win on this. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, the other match that we're gonna not really go into too much in depth here, was the match that was announced tonight. The Miz goes 1-on-1 with Otis. Money in the Bank contract on the line. Anthony, who takes it?
Oh, man, this is tough. This could go either way. I mean, as a Raw guy, I'm rooting for The Miz to win, to bring the Money in the Bank briefcase to Raw. And it would give him an out for the WWE Championship. But, I mean, he already knows what it's like to be Mr. Money in the Bank and win the title. But then again, he could pull what Edge did a number of years ago, be Money in the Bank twice and win the title twice. So that very well could happen. But I don't know. I just got this feeling about Otis. I mean, my gut's telling me to go with Otis here. So I'm going to go with Otis reluctantly, but I would not be surprised if Miz ends up stealing it. But I'm going to take a chance on Otis. So, Bullock, your thoughts?
I'm going with Otis here. I mean, to me, it doesn't make any sense to take the Money in the Bank contract off of him after he worked so hard to get it. So I'm going with Otis to win it. Dee, it's yours.
Otis.
I hate to say this, but I think Miz wins it. I think Miz steals the Money in the Bank and takes it from Otis, because there were some people that had been saying that the only reason why that Otis hasn't cashed it in yet is because they want the fans back when the day that he does do it. And as of now, it doesn't look like we're gonna have any fans anytime soon. And WWE has had no direction for Otis since he got the Money in the Bank. I mean, they really have commandeered everything from him. Like, he's literally lost, he lost his girl, he's lost his tag team partner. I mean, the only thing I could think of is that I think The Miz is going to steal the Money in the Bank away from him. That's my thoughts. So, I really got nothing more to say. I got The Miz winning. If Otis wins, I'll be happy. But I got a sick feeling they're going to steal the Money in the Bank from him. And that's going to really, really infuriate a lot of fans. But, you can't please everybody, and you know that. All right, guys, so now we are going to get in depth. Now we're going to get deep into this. Women's Money in the Bank, women's Smackdown women's title match, Hell in a Cell, Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Mike Bullock, you lead off.
This is the match that everybody's been looking forward to. This is the match that everybody knew that this was going to happen, and we're getting it. I mean, these two have been. I mean, it's been building. I mean, ever since they lost the women's tag team titles, and now WWE is really going forward with this one. I mean, we all know the history of Sasha Banks's record inside Hell in a Cell. She lost the first ever women's Hell in a Cell to Charlotte Flair. Then she lost last year to Becky Lynch. I mean, Bayley's trying to build like like she has a chance because of Sasha Banks' record inside there. But this has gotten personal with these two. I mean, they've been at each other's throats, but I think third time's going to be the charm for Becky Lynch. I mean, for Sasha Banks. I mean, Bayley's had a nice run with the SmackDown Women's Championship, 376 days. But Sunday night, I think this is where the run is going to end. So, to me, winner and new SmackDown Women's Champion, the Boss, Sasha Banks, and Bayley's record run with the SmackDown Women's title. Dee Woodson, to me, it's going to be boss time at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that it's about that time for them to put a title back on Banks, and Bailey. We know has had that thing for who knows how long. I think they said over 300 some odd days. So yeah, it's time for a switch. It's time to we just got through shaking everything up, so it's time to let's shake the title picture up here too, and let Banks actually walk away with this one, and hopefully, this will be one of the ones where she could hang on to it longer than just 1 or 2 weeks, or from one pay per view to another pay per view. Let's hope she can hang on to this for a while. So, not much more I'm going to add. Cheers, Fletch.
This is the toughest one for me because going into this, I was thinking Sasha all the way, but something really is starting to irk me a little bit. And Anthony, I think I know where you're going, and I'm really starting to think about it a little more harder. And I hate to say this, but something tells me Bayley wins and Bayley keeps the title. I don't know why, but just because they've been alluding to her long reign, 200 days as SmackDown Women's Champion now, and they're really starting to push that narrative about it. And I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. Why would you push that long-term reign with her winning that title that long? And I'm thinking to myself, it's going to be one or two factors. One, Bayley is going to get, some kind of lucky break and keep the belt. Or two, they're going to groom her to be maybe a one-year champion. Basically, what that means is she might go all the way, get the belt, keep it, because now there's rumors going around about a number of factors. I've heard that maybe, because we've been hearing talk about maybe Ronda Rousey on her way to SmackDown. We've heard that once Becky Lynch has her baby, that she'll be coming to SmackDown, and that we might have Ronda versus Becky for WrestleMania. Not only that, but there's also talk about maybe that they want to do this so that she be the one to break Nikki Bella's record, which was, I don't remember how long it was. I don't think she's broke it yet.
She already has.
She had. So
Nikki Bella was, I believe, 301, but I think Charlotte actually held it longer.
Yeah.
And I think they already passed it.
No, because she was, 200 for SmackDown Women's Champion?
Who's that?
Bayley.
Right? Her reign right now?
Yeah.
Her reign is at 376, man. She's well over a year.
So
376.
I'm trying to. Then what? Hmm.
I believe it was the second SmackDown on Fox.
Yeah.
I think it was the first
Yeah,
night
it
of
was
last
the
year's
second
draft.
SmackDown Fox where she won it.
So
First
because
night
what?
of last year's draft.
So what? No, but what I'm trying to say is there?
Cumulative, a
Yeah,
cumulative reign,
I think that's what it is.
combined reign.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got the record already.
All right. So that because I thought there was another milestone or something coming up or something. I don't know, but like I said, I honestly think Bailey's gonna win. I don't know why. I got this weird feeling Bailey's walking out, still the champion. I think they might have her keep the belt all the way up to 2021. Honestly, Anthony, it's yours.
I don't know about that, MF. I mean, as such, a storyline that has already gone on for the entirety of the pandemic we're currently in seems to have no legitimate end in sight. If WWE aims to stretch it perhaps all the way to WrestleMania, somehow Hell in a Cell for this feud simultaneously feels just right and too early because they have not gone one-on-one in a complete normal match yet. So if you're going to start here, where are you going to go? Banks has never won a Hell in a Cell match, losing both of her prior ones to the other four horsewomen, first to Charlotte in 2016 and then last year to Becky. Perhaps Sasha losing here would give Bayley more verbal ammunition, but I really can't see it advancing the storyline. It's been a long build to Bayley and Sasha finally splitting and facing off. It does feel a little too soon for them to be battling inside Hell in a Cell since that's a feud ender usually, not a starter. But timing is timing, and here we are. So it feels like Banks winning might be too soon given WWE's usual feud pacing. She may not be a typical face, but in this feud, that's the role Banks is filling. And the face beating their top rival in the first real match of the program might not really fit, but at the same time, though, I've been calling for Sasha to win the title and ending Bayley's run for the longest time, and I really cannot back down from that. I'm not gonna go to the other side on this. You can't change my mind on this. So, but here's the ultimate factor: Sasha Banks, won the NXT Women's Championship. She's been Raw Women's Champion. One half of the inaugural Women's Tag Team Champions with Bayley. There's only one title left that has eluded her, and that is the SmackDown Women's Championship. She gets that, she gets the Grand Slam. And I believe that she will get the Grand Slam. I respectfully disagree with you, MF. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow keep the thing on Bayley, but based on everything else, based on what we've been seeing, it's got to be Sasha. It has to be. So I've been calling for it for several weeks and months. I'm not changing my mind now. Winner and new SmackDown Women's Champion, the boss, Sasha Banks. So there's really nothing more to say. So, Michael Bullock, I know you're going to agree with me on this, but give me let's get.
I let off on it.
Bullock
you
let off.
Oh, that's right. My excitement level's right there with his.
Yeah, so Fletch, you're the lone wolf in this one. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I mean,
Do you want me to do it?
if you want,
Do you want me to do it?
If you want to be my guest,
No. I won't. I know the lone wolf. I know the lone wolf thing on NFL game day. I know what it is.
oh, I'm not pressuring you to do it. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I was just
no
saying,
problem.
look, if Bayley, if that happens, not only will, if you have Bayley retain the title, then what was the point of this this whole in the cell thing?
Yeah.
Then that's the only thing I was trying to get out.
Yeah.
If you
All
have
right.
Bayley retain the title, then what was the point of this whole feud?
Well. All right, we got 2 matches to go, guys. We're going to start it off with the WWE Championship match. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre inside of Hell in a Cell. Dee Woodson, you lead off.
Oh, this one's tough. Uh, well, I mean, we've had Orton attacking just about everybody, and McIntyre has the last few weeks has been coming out on top. So I wouldn't be surprised with either one of the with either way on who would win. I mean, I'm going to go ahead because the last few times that they've met that McIntyre's won, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Orton on this one for winning. But like I said, I would not be surprised if McIntyre retains. But this one is a really tough one to call. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, like you said, this one is not an easy match to call. At the end of the day, I gotta say it. I something tells me McIntyre is gonna successfully retain again, but man, I mean, I really honestly think I honestly think Orton's gonna do it. Something tells me Orton's gonna pull this off, and I don't think it's gonna be a clean win. No, no way, no how. Anybody who thinks that Orton's gonna win this by clean victory, I don't think so. Um, it's just gonna be one of those type of situations. I don't know. We'll wait and see how it plays out, but I think I just think that it's gonna end up this way, and it's gonna be it's gonna be close. But I'm gonna go with McIntyre to successfully defend. But this could go either way, so I don't know. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at first, I was leaning toward an Orton title win before the WWE draft, but now there are a fresh batch of strong heel challengers to carry Drew McIntyre toward WrestleMania. Also, if I'm being honest, Orton has cooled off a bit over the past few months, largely a product of losing multiple times to McIntyre and once cleanly on pay-per-view to Keith Lee. It's not out of the question that Orton wins, but it feels like if they were going to do it, it should have happened last month in the ambulance match at Clash of Champions, Gold Rush. But I mean, it would be true. It would truly be a waste if Orton's story did not continue with the title since he has been booked, given the way he's been booked since the start of the year. I mean, they had the change perfectly booked in the ambulance match, so McIntyre could lose without being pinned, but they didn't pull the trigger. Now they have another great opportunity for McIntyre to lose amid unique circumstances inside the cell. But I have to stick with my gut. My gut's telling me McIntyre will wind up retaining, and because he's now going to have fresh challengers. And if Miz wins Money in the Bank, you could add his name to that list. I mean, think of all the names he could feud with now, especially one phenomenal AJ Styles as well, now that he's back on Raw. I've heard some rumblings about those two possibly in a title feud, which would be hella awesome. So I'm sorry, Didi and MF. I respectfully disagree with you guys once again. I got to go with my new frontline soldier of Monday Night Raw. Winner and still the WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. So nothing more to say. So Bullock, do you go with MF and Didi for a new champ, or are you going to go with me and go with Drew to retain?
I'm going with Drew McIntyre to retain. I mean, if they were going to have Randy Orton become the champion, I think last month at the Clash of Champions would have been the time. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So, and plus, like you said, with the draft comes now over, there could be some fresh challengers for Drew McIntyre, including, like you said, the phenomenal AJ Styles. So to me, winner and still the WWE champion. Um, Drew McIntyre. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, we got one more, and boy howdy, it doesn't get any bigger than what we're about to talk about.
The Universal title on the line in Hell in a Cell. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. It's pretty simple, guys. Roman. I really got nothing more to add. I mean, this is a great storyline, but obviously they're gonna want to keep the tribal chief at the top. There's even talk about him taking the belt all the way to Mania. So Roman Reigns wins the match. He successfully defends the Universal title, but damn it to hell, they're gonna tear that. They're gonna tear that cell apart in this fight. Nothing more to say, Anthony. It's yours.
Agreed. There's no other way for this to go. I mean, the storytelling in Roman Reigns and Jey Uso has shown how powerful good writing can be. There's no doubt over who wins, Reigns versus Uso. 100 times out of 100, Reigns is not losing early in a title reign against Uso. Still, this has been one of the most compelling angles in years of WWE programming. The ultimate example of journey over destination in wrestling. Yes, Roman Reigns will beat Jey Uso when they meet in an I Quit match inside Hell in a Cell, but we are in for one hell of a treat when it happens. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this, and I just said it moments ago. I'll say it again. This has the potential to be quite possibly now the greatest Hell in a Cell match of all time. If they give it the time, and if they book it the way we think it's going to be booked, sorry, end of an era. You're gonna get rear-ended. You're gonna get upended as the greatest Hell in a Cell match of all time. It's gonna make that one look like an absolute dud, for all I know. Winner and still the Universal Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. There's really nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, get ready for what could be the greatest Hell in a Cell match of all time, surpassing end of an era, if all goes well.
It definitely could surpass it if it all goes well, but I'm going to ask you guys this one thing. Do any of you guys think we're going to see one wrestling hold in this match?
Absolutely not. This ain't going to be no Flair Steamboat 5-star classic. Hell no.
Fletch? You think we're going to see one wrestling maneuver from these two? Or DD?
I answered on behalf of everybody, Bullet. We're not going to see a dang
Oh,
wrestling.
yeah. All right. So, yeah, you're not going to see one wrestling hold. This is going to be an all-out brawl. They're going to tear that Hell in a Cell apart, and I think we're all in agreement it's going to go one way. The Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, retains the Universal Championship, and I said it once during the recap, but I'm going to say it again. This, to me, should be the main event. Just my opinion. There's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, it's going to be Roman Reigns. He's going to walk away with it, and yeah, it's going to tear up the whole thing. I mean, this is the biggest draw of the night, and it's definitely deserves main event status and has the biggest stakes out of all of the matches. This one has the biggest stakes of all. So yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say about it. It has to be Reigns, and I feel bad for the Usos for the stipulation, but it is what it is. So not much more I'm going to add. So Fletch, I guess we're putting the bow on it.
All right, and we are indeed done for the night. So tomorrow is going to be NFL Saturday, hosted by Anthony Florio, as we're going to be talking about all the action, including a wild Thursday night game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. We had that, and then we'll do all the coverage. Then Sunday we're gonna recap not only Hell in a Cell, but we're also gonna be talking about Bound for Glory. It's gonna be pushed till 11. All right, that's fine. So we'll have to go rapid fire then, Florio, on that then. So the show's been pushed back till 11 o'clock tomorrow night. So we're gonna do that, and then after, we're gonna do the, like I said, we're gonna have the recap of Bound for Glory, and we'll have the recap of Hell in a Cell on Sunday. Monday, Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio, and we'll go through the whole shebang again. So, guys, that's it. We're done. Thank you guys as always. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.